What's up, gamers? Today's going to be a little bit of a different video. Today we're going to be talking about how you, yes, even you, can get better at bedwars in less than 10 minutes. So today I'm not going to be talking over while I'm playing. I'm just going to have some pre-recorded gameplay in the background, just something for you to watch to keep you entertained while we take a deep dive into how you can stop sucking. Also, another point, this guide's going to be mostly focused on solos and sort of doubles. 3s and 4s are a whole different beast, so if you're looking for advice on those, some of this is applicable, but don't take all of it. Now, I've watched some other guides, and the general consensus is that there are 3 main components of bedwars, that being bridging, PvP, and game sense. Now, I agree with that these are the 3 pillars in which bedwars is built upon, but I disagree on kind of the order of importance that they're being ranked in these guides. I feel as if from most important to least important, it would go game sense, bridging, then PvP. Now we'll start with why I put PvP in last place. It's because if you have good game sense and you set yourself up for success, you're super rich, you have all the diamond upgrades, you have emeralds, you have like potions or something, you have a great advantage over every other player in the game, and it makes it so that you don't have to be too good at PvP to win fights. Take it from me, if you look up my stats right now, my bedwars solo FKDR is like 6 or something, but in duels my KDR is 1. So there's a big disconnect there between the 2 numbers, which kind of proves how PvP doesn't really factor into how good you are at bedwars. Now, of course, don't get me wrong, PvP does matter a little bit. Like, if you can't click on people, you are not going to kill anyone. It's just not a end-all be-all factor that decides whether or not you're good at bedwars. What is a bigger factor, though, is bridging. Now, I'll explain why bridging is actually rather important, because a lot of other YouTubers would disagree and say that bridging isn't that important, but I feel like it is one of the more underappreciated aspects of bedwars. Now, don't get me wrong, you don't have to go around and god bridge everywhere, do some crazy Andromeda bridging. That's not what I mean by bridging. I just mean being able to ninja bridge properly, staircase bridge, and do all that. Now, this is important because at the beginning of every bedwars game, you should be rushing the person that's closest to you. Now, this could be to your side, this could be at a diagonal, it's different for every map. But you'll want to be fast with this rush. Now, this first rush is arguably the most important part of every bedwars game, because if you don't win this, there's no more bedwars game to play. Furthermore, the speed at which you take out your first rush matters a lot for your momentum going forward. If you take out your first rush extremely quickly and you get to middle and you're able to collect all the emeralds and get a bunch of diamonds and whatnot, you'll be a lot richer than everyone else, and you can start using those emeralds to buy obsidian or use them to take out all the other teams. Now, if you're slow on this first rush and other people get to these resources before you, you're going to be at a severe disadvantage going forward fighting everyone else, as they're going to be much more geared than you are going to be. So this brings us back to bridging, because this is how you're going to win this first rush really quickly. Every map has a different amount of wool that you need to reach the next base. Generally, you will be able to reach every next base with 64 wool or 16 iron. You can bring more if you want, you can bring less if you want, but that's always just kind of a safe number to have. And then you're going to want to cover your bed with just wool, and you're going to want to start speed bridging, making sure to build up relatively high to the next base. If you do this fast enough, one of 2 things is going to happen. Either you're going to get over to their base and they're still going to be setting up their bed defense or sitting in the gen, or they're going to have started building to you as well, however, you're going to be higher than them. In this case, you're going to want to just jump down and knock them off real quick, and then run over to their bed and break it. If they're still at their base and they're setting up their bed defense, or they're sitting in gen, you're going to want to drop down and use the fall damage tick to start a combo on them and kill them and then break their bed. Now, I want to reiterate how important it is to be fast coming out of your base. If you let their bridge get on top of yours, it is significantly harder to win your first rush. You always want to have your bridge on top of theirs. Now, bridging continues to be important throughout the game, but this is where bridging really is important. And so now this brings us to the most important aspect of bedwars, which is game sense. It's important to establish first what exactly game sense is. In my definition, game sense is knowing what to do at what time. This includes who to rush, what to buy, when to collect emeralds, when to take a fight and when to run away, and many more things. Just overall your decision making in Bed Wars. The most important aspects of game sense, I would say, is just who to rush and what to buy at what time, as well as when you should be giving up your bed. As for who to rush, you can make this decision after you take out your first rush, depending on how fast you went about doing this. You can either go collect emeralds real quick in middle, or you can immediately start rushing someone else. It's really up to your discretion and how you want to play. If you want to play more slow and safe, you can go collect emeralds, but if you want to play fast, you can immediately start the next rush. So that brings us to the next question. Who is the next rush? The next rush, I would say, is whoever's looking like to be your biggest competition in the game. If someone took out another base really quickly, if someone has a really sweaty name, regardless of where they are in the map, just beeline straight for them and try and take them out as soon as possible. The exception to this is if someone else is already actively coming for you, then you should take that person out next. Now, as for what to buy, it's important to establish what resources we're talking about. There are 4 different resources in Bed Wars. You have iron, gold, diamonds, and emeralds. With iron, really the only things you want to be buying with iron are a stone sword, blocks, your wooden tools initially, and if you have enough, sometimes a fireball if you really want it. As for gold, the only real things you want to be buying with gold are the initial iron armor purchase and then golden apples as needed, as well as TNT if that's your play style, if you like using TNT. With diamonds, it really depends kind of what order you buy these things in, but the only things you need to be buying are sharpness, protection, and a trap. As for the trap, buy a minor fatigue trap. No question, just buy one. It saves your bed so many times. As for emeralds, you don't want to be buying a diamond sword or diamond armor on any of that stuff. The best emerald purchase, in my opinion, is invis potions. These can win you PvP encounters that you should not be winning. These can allow you to break beds that you should not be able to break. Invis potions are just so good, and aside from invis, another really good thing is a pearl. Pearls can be an extra life. If you're in a PvP encounter that you're not going to be able to win, you can pearl away, or if you get fireballed off a bridge, you can pearl and save yourself. They're just so versatile, and you can do so many different things with them. And finally, when to give up your bed. This is more of a vague concept with no clear right answers. Typically, obviously, you want to do everything you can to keep your bed. When you lose your bed, it makes winning significantly harder. But you will find that you will be winning, I'd say, half of your solo games, or doubles games for that matter, without a bed. Because you can't always be playing defense, so you'll lose your bed much more than if you were playing like 3s or 4s. Typically, the best time to just give up your bed is when you find yourself being double or triple teamed and you don't think you can keep defending for much longer. It can actually be more beneficial to just let someone have your bed and abandon ship and go get rich in middle. That actually sets you up for more success than just being a sitting duck in your base, someone taking your bed, you fight them, either you lose or you win and you're on half health, and then someone else comes and cleans you up. Leaving your base in that situation sets you up for more success than sitting there and trying to defend. And that just about brings us to the end of the guide. If you want to learn more about how to get better, the way I learned a lot is just by watching YouTubers that I loved. Really, the videos that helped me most weren't Bed Wars guides, but were like uncut Bed Wars. My favorite was Gamerboy80. I would watch his uncut Bed Wars where he would explain what he was doing at what times and why he was doing it, and it really helped me learn about game sense especially. So if you are looking to learn more or want to just see some in action, I would recommend those Gamerboy80 uncut Bed Wars videos. With that being said, thank you everyone so much for watching. If you made it to the end and you're not subscribed, you should subscribe. Just do it. If you don't do it, you're going to find me at your doorstep and I'm going to do something terrible. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.